Okay. One of them. Why is everybody running?
Yeah. I thought that would have stopped by now.
No, it's going well and truly strong. So I just think I think running's great. And we might as well talk about it because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
But we've spoken about it heaps. We've been talking about the hybrid thing for 18 months now.
I'm pretty sure I predicted that it was coming as the next wave a couple of years ago. But anyway.
Exactly. I think... my controversial opinion is most of the girls I know that got into running do it because it's a nice calorie burn. And under the guise of... And I'm like happy for people to come move pitchforks for that because it's the experience that I've had with my own clients.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess like it's accessible and it's fun. I just think that everyone needs to remember that if you're going to do this and you want to do this long term, the only advice I'm going to give about running is it's not about PBing every single week. Yeah. Like we so clearly can look at a deadlift and be like, yeah, you probably shouldn't PB that every week. Yeah. But people are like, hey guys, in the last 2 weeks, I shaved 2 minutes off this. I'm like, your gait is terrible. You're running terribly. Your training doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, I think as an industry, I don't know if it's industry, there's industry trends, right? Like within, if we say fitness is the industry and people doing the thing.
Yeah.
In my time, when I started, everything was bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Girls did cardio, went to classes, and we were like, all of our content was like, get off the fucking treadmill and come lift weights.
Yeah.
And like, that was the message. Now, the gym I train at, it's like the dudes are all skinny and all the girls are jacked. It's like, it's so
just like
weird.
Swapped. Yeah.
Then CrossFit hit. And like, it was like, okay, so when I did bodybuilding, I felt X.
Yep.
Probably stiff, probably maybe bigger, or I was hungry all the time, or I had disordered eating, or whatever. Box gap was still around.
Oh
like, you know what I mean? Like that was the culture.
Yeah.
Then there was CrossFit, and that was performance outcome based, and it was fitness based, and I felt awesome until I broke.
Yep.
Because the programming was shit. It does my head in. Because like the CrossFit Level 1 booklet, outside of the zone diet thing, outside of that, like eat some fucking carbohydrates, you'll be okay. The programming's really good.
Yes. It's
like you should do a skill day, an endurance day, a strength day, and then maybe once a week put it all together.
Well, that's like what... shout outs. But like Louis always talks about that.
Yeah.
And then what's her name? Anna Wish. Mm-hmm. And they always talk about getting good at the things and going through like any other sport. You have your off season where you grow and you work on X, Y, Z and blah, blah, blah.
It's
and
literally in the manual.
Yeah. But
like
then
the fucking 10-hour course that you have to do to say like I'm a level 1 CrossFit coach literally has the program layout in it and it's good.
Yeah. And then, but I think like there's that element of like people forget that the CrossFit classes are CrossFit classes as well. Like it's group fitness.
It's not a program.
Yeah. Just like at U Strong, like we are doing strength training, a program, but it's also not powerlifting.
Correct.
It's not the sport.
Correct. Yeah. Because you don't have 2 hours.
Correct. Like it's not the sport.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to differentiate that as well. Like how you display it is not how you do it. And like it's the same with running a marathon.
Yeah.
Like
you don't run 40Ks a weekend.
You don't run marathons to run a marathon.
Yeah.
You don't max out your deadlift to PB your deadlift.
Yeah.
And you don't constantly WOD to perform better at the CrossFit Games. So I think people forget that as well. If you're doing running just for fun and just a way to get out of your own head, kudos to you.
Yeah.
3 kilometers, 15 minutes, my absolute max. And I'm like, I am so bored. I hate this, which is why I did sprinting instead. Because I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
But like, I just know so many people that like they get out the other end. And it was like becoming vegetarians to eat healthier, but it was a way to calorie restrict.
Correct.
And it's like been a very interesting topic of discussion within my client base because a lot of them also, I think like a lot of people do to a degree put their coach on a little bit of a pedestal and like similarly go. Like I've got a
course.
lot of clients
You're
that
a
want to
leader.
do powerlifting now as
Yeah.
well and like slay, which is why we have to be so cautious of what we put out there.
Yeah.
But now like most of my clients are over running
Yeah.
and they don't do it.
Yeah. So coming back to the CrossFit thing, so that was the next wave, right?
Yeah.
Then powerlifting kicked off because people learned lifting weights and performance-based goals were really cool, but I keep getting hurt when I do that thing.
Yeah.
Which then the trade-offs for powerlifting were it made you really hungry, so you probably overate, and there was no emphasis on how you looked, so you didn't manage your calories as well. So like I know for me, like powerlifting, because I took it so seriously, I was like, I don't care if I can put my shoes on, if I can pick up 300 kilos. I do not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, so there was a bunch, when we started talking about it on here, I reckon was 18 months ago. And it was like post-lockdown, so all of our incidental movement had changed, but everyone that powerlifted found equipment.
Yeah.
So you did nothing. Even if you were getting your 8,000 steps in your 2 fucking 30-minute windows you're allowed outside, you weren't doing stuff.
Yeah.
You would go for a walk and you would lift weights. And you just ended up a fucking fridge.
Yeah.
So then it was like, okay, we're now allowed out. It's like, I couldn't touch my back.
Yeah.
And then for me, it was like, okay, now health is a priority. Need to have a baby, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, well, like, I need something that's challenging that I can measure. So I did sprinting first.
Yeah.
And then it just was inconvenient. Going for a run was easier. So I was like, I'll do a 5K.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I think it was to try and find the same feeling of like lightness, a little bit of pep in your step and bounce, the endorphin rush that comes from a run that you don't get from weightlifting.
Totally.
Was kind of like the same way we swung from bodybuilding to CrossFit back to powerlifting.
Yeah.
Now it's like Pilates and running
Yeah.
because I feel
I know so many
mobile
less people
and
now.
all of that.
Like
that,
Pilates.
yeah,
I
fallen
know-
off already.
I know so many
Yeah.
people that are like past that now. Maybe they still do it, they just don't religiously post it. But
I think the adaptation is so fast for Pilates.
yes.
Like I did it for a month with Amy, and that we'll tie that into your first trimester question.
Yeah.
So Amy didn't train pretty much at all for her first trimester. I think she went twice, and she was just like
Yeah.
wrecked afterwards. So we just focused on walking. Second trimester, she felt better, but was just anxious.
Yeah.
So I went with her twice a week for that month.
Yep.
By the end of it, like core stability, mobility, the stuff that you would want to get out of it, I had it.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, this is cool, but I'm done.
That's the questionable thing, right? How do you progress?
And that's like,
Yeah.
now where do I go? And maybe like, I'm sure, like obviously working with Ali and stuff, I know her programming is
Yeah.
good. And maybe even you go small group and you can kind of progress in that space.
But
I think the adaptations wear off pretty quick.
But I guess like continuing to be able to move is the win.
Correct.
Like
yeah,
that's the win in itself.
Yeah, and if you enjoy the modality and it gives you that, sweet. But for us that are like, but I need a metric that says I'm better, then it
Correct.
doesn't work. So yeah, I think the running thing, I know a lot of strength coaches who continue to train through the break.
Yeah.
And you said the influence that we have
Yeah.
on clients. So particularly in Melbourne, every powerlifter was running
Yeah.
because they, in my opinion, were beat up,
Yeah.
stiff, and were like, I just need to feel fit.
Yeah.
And that influenced over time all of their clients.
Yeah.
And then the same as you, the clients I have now that run is solely for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they get a different stimulus in their brain than they do for weight training.
Yeah. I think I generally think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
I do. Like nothing kind of beats that endorphin rush of cardio. And I would definitely love to go, like, I do miss being in the group fitness setting that I was, like being able to do a cardio session or that here and there. Like that's so much fun and it gives you something different. But I think that everyone should remember how good it feels to do cardio and continue to do cardio for a couple of 15 to 20 minute sessions per week on the bike, on the treadmill, outside, on the Stairmaster, whatever it is. Just like do it anyway because it does help you push harder in your training when you have that capacity. the mental and physical fortitude to do it.
Yep.
And like this is at people that don't like doing more than 5 reps.
Yeah. And that's it. There's so much, like, the pendulum swing's huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to go from I only like doing triples
Yeah.
to I'm trying to run a 5K. Like there's like so many different ways. Like I've got a fair few of my clients on the bike because it's just like the lowest, the lowest impact, still hard, boring as all shit.
Yeah.
To be honest, but like you'll fucking survive.
Yeah.
Like you'll survive.
This protocol, I got it from Max. Shout out from the Performance Hub when I was coaching with him. It was 2 minutes on, 1 minute off on the air bike, 8 rounds, 3-minute break, another 8 rounds.
You've given me that.
Yeah.
I wanted to kill myself.
It's the most disgustingly boring thing ever. I'm pretty sure my resting heart rate dropped to 12 beats in like 8 weeks.
Yeah, it was so good. But like, I can't remember who told me, but it's like you don't get fit running.
Nah. Well, I didn't. It was too hard.
Like your body when it's new.
Unless you're a good runner.
To you,
yeah.
Yes, and no one is a good runner when they start. You may be able to shuffle at a decent pace.
Yeah.
Like I could do a decent pace when I shuffled, but I'm not a good runner.
Yeah.
And like you get fit outside of doing the thing, just like you strengthen your legs doing a lunge or a leg press and it translates to a better squat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you get fit outside of the modality of running.
Yeah.
And you display it via running, but you still do your technique work and your pace work and work on all of that stuff as well. So it's not just, yes, you do need to run to get better at running, but you don't need to run to get fitter.
Correct.
And I think I think that that's super important. But
yeah. Louis explains it really well. He has a really good breakdown for that. I believe it's like zone 1, like the easy one. It's like that's lungs. Then zone, I might get this back to front. But it's like that's lungs. The next level up, zone 2 is like heart, and then after that it's muscular.
Yeah.
So you've got to train all 3 at different times if you want to be the most effective in terms of overall fitness, especially for someone that coaches CrossFit. My running, zone 3, always within a house, like straight away into zone 3. So it wasn't like I've got mates. A mate of mine has run a sub 3:30 marathon and can like do 100 Ks a week. And he'll get up after 12 beers and go for a 10K, and it's like I feel better. He can run to get fitter.
Yeah.
Because he's a runner. He's run since he was 12.
Yeah.
If you're coming at it, like you said, not efficient with your technique.
Yeah.
Not even just like skilled at the
movement
exercise itself, and you're not in a base level of fitness to be able to do it. It's like fucking weight training for 20 minutes.
It's going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Like you're rigid, everything hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you end up with pain as well. Like your feet hurt, so then that raises your heart rate even more and stress even more. It's like it's such a huge stimulus that people don't kind of get their head around. Yeah, and it's interesting because I remember posting content 10 years ago. Stop running. Like, stop doing fun runs to try and lose weight. This is what's happening to your joints. This is what's happening to, it's like, just, back then it was like, just go lift weights.
Yeah.
Because people thought they had to do cardio to get in shape. It's really interesting.
We've all changed so much.
Yeah. I don't know if we answered the question why people are running.
No, I don't know if she was like taking the piss, so that's why I took it down that way anyway. She's a powerlifter.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say about that is on another podcast I was listening to, they're like, run clubs are like dating clubs now. Like that's what everyone does them. And I was like, that's the secret. That's what they're all doing.
Yep.
Anyway,